in a warm and generous jungle, where the trees grew heavy with fruit and the rivers ran clear and the air smelled of flowers and rain. There lived a young monkey named Milo. Milo was quick. He was clever. He had long, nimble fingers and a mind that moved even faster than his body. The jungle was full of good things, and Milo knew where every single one of them was. The sweetest mangoes on the east side of the hill, the coldest water at the bend in the river, the softest sleeping branches high in the fig tree where the afternoon light came through just right. He knew all of it, but knowing where everything was had given Milo a problem that grew quietly alongside him as he grew. He always wanted more than the one thing in front of him. If he was eating a mango, he was already thinking about the papaya. If he was drinking at the river, he was already planning his route to the berries. If he was resting in the fig tree, he was already making a list of everything else he had not done yet. He was never fully anywhere, because some part of him was always already somewhere else. The older animals noticed. A wise old tortoise who rested each afternoon by the river watched Milo rushing past one morning with his arms full of fruit he could not possibly eat. "You carry more than you can hold," the tortoise said quietly. Milo barely slowed down. "I just like to be prepared," he called back cheerfully. A large, gentle elephant near the water hole watched him sprint past in 4 different directions in one morning. "The jungle is not running away," the elephant said calmly. Milo grinned over his shoulder. "I know. I just want all of it." He said it like it was the most reasonable thing in the world. And in his mind, it was. One bright morning, Milo decided today was the day. He would collect everything at once. The mangoes from the East Hill, the berries from the North Ridge, the figs from the river bend, the sugarcane from the South Clearing, and the cool water from the deep pool, all in one trip, all before midday. He made a plan. He told himself it was efficient. He set off at speed. The mangoes came first. He filled both arms. Then he saw the berries and tried to hold those too. Then the figs. By the time he reached the sugarcane, he was carrying so much that he could barely see over the pile in his arms. He walked carefully, slowly, trying to hold everything at once. Every few steps something fell. He bent to pick it up and something else fell. He turned to grab that and knocked 3 mangoes loose. He chased one rolling mango and sat on the berries. He stood up fast and the figs went everywhere. He stood in the middle of the jungle path surrounded by scattered fruit, arms empty, breathing hard. Around him the jungle continued quietly. A small parrot on a branch above watched him with patient, unreadable eyes. "Would you like some help?" the parrot asked pleasantly. Milo looked at the fruit on the ground, then at his empty arms. "I had it all," he said. For about 4 seconds, the parrot replied honestly. Milo gathered what he could carry, which turned out to be far less than he had started with, and went home with considerably less than. If he had simply chosen one thing from the beginning, he told himself tomorrow he would plan better. The next morning he tried again. Same plan, same result. The morning after that, a variation on the same disaster. Each time he lost more than he gained. Each time he arrived home with arms lighter than they should have been and feeling heavier than it needed to be. One afternoon, exhausted from another failed collection run, Milo climbed to his favorite branch in the fig tree and lay there looking up through the leaves. The afternoon light came through in the way it always did, soft and golden and scattered. He had not noticed it in a long time. He had always been moving too fast toward the next thing. But today his body was too tired to go anywhere, and so for the first time in as long as he could remember, he simply lay there. The jungle was extraordinarily beautiful. Birds moved through the high canopy in slow, deliberate arcs. The river below made the sound it always made, steady and low and permanent. A family of deer passed along the path below, unhurried. One small fawn stopping to look at a butterfly that had landed on a leaf beside the path. The butterfly opened and closed its wings twice and flew away. The fawn watched it go and then continued on. Milo watched all of it. He had not watched anything in a very long time. Something uncomfortable and important was forming somewhere inside him. He was not ready to look at it directly yet, but he could feel it beginning to take shape in the quiet of the afternoon. The jungle had been this beautiful every single day. He had been rushing through it for months without seeing any of it. What exactly had he been collecting it all for? He did not have an answer, and the not having of an answer sat with him in the afternoon light and would not leave. That evening, the old tortoise was in his usual place by the river. Milo came and sat beside him without really planning to. They sat in silence for a while. The river moved past them in the fading light. "I keep losing everything I try to carry," Milo said finally. The tortoise did not look surprised. "What is the one thing you actually want?" he asked. Milo opened his mouth to answer and then stopped. He had never asked himself that question. He had always just wanted everything. The question of one thing felt almost impossible. "I do not know," he said honestly. The tortoise nodded slowly. "That," he said, "is a very good place to start." That night Milo lay in his fig tree and thought about it seriously. For the first time. Not what he could collect. Not what else was out there. But what he actually wanted. What made him feel full rather than just busy. And the answer that came quietly and without drama surprised him. He wanted this. The fig tree. The sound of the river below. The way the night air moved through the leaves above him. He wanted to actually be in the jungle he had been rushing through. He wanted to feel it rather than just collect it. The next morning Milo woke early. He walked, not ran, to the East Hill. He picked 3 mangoes. 3 good ones, chosen carefully, held gently. He sat at the top of the hill and ate them slowly, one at a time. Watching the morning light arrive across the jungle below, he tasted every piece. He noticed the way the juice ran. He watched a small bird land on the branch beside him and then fly away again. He stayed until the mangoes were finished and the morning was fully arrived. Then he went to the river. He drank slowly, feeling the cold of the water properly for the first time. A fish moved below the surface in a slow curve and he watched it until it was gone. He sat on the bank for a while after he was no longer thirsty, just because the river was beautiful. And he was finally in a place where he could see that. He walked home through the jungle in the late morning, arms mostly empty, moving slowly, looking at everything. A spider web between 2 branches caught the light. He stopped and looked at it properly. He had passed this same web hundreds of times and never seen it. It had been here all along. When he arrived home that afternoon, he had less fruit than he used to bring. But he felt something he had not felt in as long as he could remember. He felt full. Not in his arms. Not in his collection. Just in himself. Quietly and genuinely full. The jungle had not gotten better. It had always been this good. He had simply finally stopped rushing through it long enough to notice.